I loved playing sports growing up. I even kind of liked practice, but you know what I hated? Conditioning. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about, right? When you played sports at practice, right? You do drills and maybe some scrimmaging, hopefully at some point during practice. And then at the end, coach would be like, just run. Whether you're doing suicides or sprints or like soccer, coach would just be like, just run around the whole complex. Like what? Like, no like objective, no like lines you're supposed to stay in. Like basketball at least was like, okay, you had lines, right? You're running up and down, make sure you get down and touch the line, right? When you're running suicides, or maybe you're doing laps like around the court or something. Like, okay, I kind of got it. But in soccer, coach is basically like, just run. Basically like, I'll tell you when to stop, just go. Soccer was a sport that I played because I had fun, my friends played, but soccer was not for me. There's way too much running in soccer. There is way too much conditioning that you need to do to play soccer. The thing about conditioning is you have to do it before you need it. If you don't do conditioning when you don't need it, then when you do need it, it's not gonna do you any good, right? An athlete has to train in the off season. They have to run a lot before the season starts. They can't, the playoffs are about to start. Now I'm gonna do a bunch of conditioning so that I'm good to go for these extra games, for these late games that go into the fourth quarter when I really need to be in shape and not breathing heavy, but I can keep up with these guys. There's no amount of running you can do like the day before the game or the day of the game to make up for a lack of conditioning earlier on in the season or in the off season, right? If anything, you're gonna make it worse to try to run and condition yourself at that point. The other thing about conditioning is if you've done the work, it's there for you when you need it, automatically, right? If you did not condition and you're out of shape, when the fourth quarter comes and it's crunch time and you need to dig a little bit deeper, if you didn't do conditioning, there's not gonna be anything there. You're gonna dig deep and find nothing. You're gonna be gassed, you're gonna be winded, you're gonna be tired, and you're not gonna have anything left when you really need it in the fourth quarter. But the opposite is also true. If you do the work ahead of time, in practice, in the off season, when things are a little bit easier, when you don't need it, when you think, what do I gotta run for? If you do it then in the fourth quarter of those games late in the season when it really matters, you're not even gonna have to try to dig deep to find something more. You're not gonna be tired. You're gonna be in shape. The other team might be huffing and puffing, but you can keep running up and down the court because you're not tired because you did the conditioning ahead of time. If you're in a great season of your life, I want to encourage you to do conditioning now. When you think you don't need it. What's conditioning? Read the Word of God. Listen to podcasts. Attend church not just once a week, which if you're not doing that yet, I encourage you to do once a week. But get involved, do a Bible study. If they got a Wednesday night, if they got a Friday night, if they got a Saturday night, a night of worship, a prayer on Saturday mornings, whatever it is, get everything you can now. Condition yourself. Because then when the time comes in your life, when it's hard and it's difficult, and it seems like the fourth quarter of a close game, when it's crunch time, it'll be there. You don't have to try to muster up enough faith to believe that God will come through for you. You don't have to try to muster up faith for healing or for financial provision if you can't pay your bills, because you conditioned when it was easy. You read the Word, you saw God's promises when it was easy. Don't wait until you're in the middle of crunch time, when things are difficult and you really need it, to try to, all of a sudden now I'm gonna try to study the Word and I'm gonna try to pray a lot and get everything that I can. Get it memorized, right? When Jesus was tempted in the wilderness by the devil, every time the devil tempted him, he shot back with "It is written, it is written." He didn't have those ready to go. He didn't have them memorized because he was the Son of God. He had them memorized because he spent time reading the scriptures. He didn't automatically have this stuff in his head just because he was the Son of God. No, he put in the work ahead of time. So do it now, when you can, when times are good. Do the conditioning now. Because if you don't, you won't have anything when you need it. And if you do, you won't have to try to muster up something in your own strength. When you need it, it'll be there.